So Battlefield 4 was rushed. We know that now. It's something we can't deny. If you've played the game, you really can feel the fact that this game has been rushed out, tried to get to us before it was ready. So I want to basically discuss that, discuss why this has happened, why we're in this situation, and also talk about other things as well, not just Battlefield, other games and things like that, and just bring my sort of thoughts on the way the gaming industry is at the moment, and this sort of necessity that publishers feel to get things out to us as soon as possible, just ram it down our necks before it's ready, before we can even swallow. It's not a very nice metaphor, but it'll do the job. So yeah, we know why Battlefield 4 was rushed out. Basically, DICE were there developing this wonderful game, and it seems like EA just went, right guys, get this out as soon as possible. We want to beat Call of Duty Ghosts, we want to beat them for sales, we want to get out before them, get out in time for the next gen consoles. And what's resulted is a game that has been probably one of the buggiest, if not the buggiest things I've played. And I played GTA Online from the start, so that's saying a lot. And it's actually got to the point now where Robins Geller, an American law firm, have actually filed a lawsuit against EA on behalf of stockholders who've been affected by the bugs in the game. You know, people have lost a lot of money because of these bugs, stocks have dropped. And it all seemed in vain as well, because they were trying to compete with Call of Duty Ghosts, but on reflection, they really didn't have to bring it out early in order to beat Call of Duty Ghosts. It is one of the few games that is probably buggier than Battlefield 4. So yeah, they rushed to bring it out to beat Ghosts, and Ghosts has had an even worse release than Battlefield 4, so it was all in vain. But the scary thing is, imagine if Battlefield 4 had come out as buggy as it was, but Activision had brought out Call of Duty Ghosts and it was running perfectly with no issues. That could have had an absolutely devastating effect on the Battlefield franchise. So they really didn't think about it. I think it's better to wait, bring out something that's perfect from the off, rather than rush something out when it's unfinished. Because with hindsight, even if they released it a few months after Call of Duty Ghosts, it would still be better than it. You know, it is a much better game. It's just not finished, but you can tell it is a great game. But it's ruined the experience for a lot of people. And it seems with every patch, it brings new errors. I mean, with the latest patch now, it seems if you get revived, the screen likes to remind you that you've been revived for the next 5 minutes until you die. It's like, hey, we've revived you, let us remind you that. Here you are, have it plastered across your screen, taking up a little bit of your screen, and just making you want to kick a chair away and hang from the ceiling. So it does seem to bring new issues every time. They try to do good, but it doesn't quite work. And it makes me wonder how much of this is EA. Because if you look at pretty much every EA release this year, they've all been absolutely fucking tragic. I mean, SimCity is a classic example. That was... They may as well have just released a potato and said, this is our new game. Just, here's a potato, here's a frying pan, go fucking nuts. You'll get more production out of that than you will out of SimCity on release. So yeah, EA are trying to sort of get rid of their reputation as the worst company in the world and not doing the greatest job. But it's not just them. I think people need to take more out of the book of Dean Hall, who's made DayZ standalone. It's come out as an alpha. He said there's issues, you know, it is an alpha, we're still making it. But he didn't release it until he thought it would be playable, basically. We did have an issue recently. It wasn't his fault, it was actually Steam's fault. But got a lot of respect for that guy. When you look at the next-gen consoles, the amount of reports you heard of people getting their next-gen consoles and they weren't working properly. Xbox One's had the disc problem, you know, discs weren't reading. And also the fact that the PlayStation 4 has come out without any HD capture support. That, for me, just shows that they should have just brought it out a little bit later and given people a chance. Because you've got a lot of YouTubers who rely on the ability to capture with the PS4. I mean, even before the PlayStation 4 came out, from what I'd read, it seemed like it was going to beat the Xbox One. A lot of people prefer the PlayStation 4, so they could afford to take that little bit more time. I understand Sony's position because with the PlayStation 3 they brought it out a couple of years after Xbox 360, at which point most people had already got an Xbox 360. So even though I have both, my Xbox got used a lot more. I actually bought a PlayStation 3 first and then got an Xbox because all my friends had already bought one. So I do understand that they felt the necessity to get it out before Xbox, and I do think the PlayStation 4 is going to do better this time round. But the gaming industry for me at the moment, this is a little bit of a rant, but the gaming industry for me at the moment has major issues. The internet was one of the best and worst things that could happen to gaming. Best because it brought us online multiplayer, which is a massive part of gaming now. Everyone loves online multiplayer. But it also gave publishers the ability to bring out an unfinished game and then just patch it through internet patches. If you think back to when you had your PlayStation 2 or your original Xbox or even further back, you bought a game and it was either good or it wasn't. If it was shit, you chucked it in the bin, there was nothing that could be done about it, and if it was great, you'd get endless hours of fun out of it. You know, I mean, you wouldn't have it where your PS2 would flick open and your disc would shoot across the room, smashing your granddad in the face, go, oh, sorry, this game's not finished yet, we don't want it anymore. You just put it in and it worked. There was no element of, oh, we'll fix it later. They either brought it out good or brought it out absolutely fucking shit. So I guess in a way one of the big downfalls is the fact they can online patch things now. But I've got friends now who are just boycotting Battlefield 4 until it's ready. You know, I mean, EA forced DICE to delay all DLC until it's ready. Again, did that after they'd taken your money. So EA haven't changed at all. Yeah, so we're going to charge you for a game, bring it out broken, and then we're going to charge you for the DLC, and then sort of suspend that DLC until the broken game we've charged you for is fixed. But I'm going to end it now because it's getting to a bit of a rant. I do love Battlefield 4 still, but it does just annoy me. I'm not annoyed with DICE, I'm annoyed with EA and the way they've sort of forced the game out that wasn't ready. The lawsuit says it all. There's no lawsuit against DICE, the lawsuit is against EA. But I want your opinions as well. What do you think about the current state of affairs where a company can just bring out an unfinished game and patch it online, same with consoles and all that kind of things? Would you happily wait that extra 4 or 5 months just for a game to come out that is right and ready to play? I want your opinions. Apologies again for the level of rantage in this, but it has really annoyed me. But yeah, leave me your comments. Hit like if you did enjoy the video. You guys take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you all very soon.